And we are on. What is up, guys? This is the Average Johnny coming back to you with yet another average video. And today, I am bringing a video that I feel like I kind of deserve it, but I have been getting a lot of flack for liking on doing this video. And I do have a bit of an explanation. I guess you guys can call it an excuse. So what happened is about 2 months ago, I did this community post where I said you guys should drop a comment, letting me know basically I was gonna do a shout out, but it was also kind of an FAQ, like FAQ where you guys can Q&A where you guys can ask questions, and I would answer them and give you a shout out at the same time. However, what happened is when I recorded the video, I don't know how, but it got deleted, and I didn't really want to go through the trouble of having to record all that again, because to do that, I had to set up lighting, I had to set up my table, little setup, fix up stuff a bit, and during this quarantine time, it hasn't been that easy to do stuff relating to actual camera work or anything like that. I'm working on it, but that video got lost. I honestly didn't want to go through the hassle of having to do that whole thing again. I was gonna have to do like all this all this crazy stuff, and I honestly just thought I didn't want to leave you guys empty-handed on terms of that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the shoutouts video this way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just kind of gonna scroll through the comments that I got during that time, and I'm just gonna be answering them as I go, with my face showing, of course. Hopefully, this is acceptable to you guys. I'm sorry that it's not gonna go the way that I originally planned it to go, but that's just the way that it happened. And like I said, I just didn't want to go through the trouble of having to redo everything again, because it is a lot of work, whether you guys believe it or not. So let's just go ahead and start. so so first of all, I did quite a couple of them, and I think in total I got like 30, maybe a little bit more questions. So yeah, let's just go ahead and start. First question comes from Miles Phobia. Shout outs to Miles Phobia, by the way. I know he's a longtime viewer, and interacted with me on Discord a couple times. We've talked about doing some stuff, and hopefully we can do that very, very soon. First question, he has a couple. He says, any plans to diversify content, other games, personal projects, etc.? So as you guys know, sometimes I do like to post other things that I do, such as like the effects videos that I do, or sometimes, or as you guys have seen recently, I posted a GTA video, GTA 4, and of course I have been talking about the Spongebob Battle for Bikini Bottom remastered game, as well as the Destroy Humans remastered game as well, remake, whatever the hell you guys want to call it. I don't want to get any flack for using either word or using it incorrectly. So that's that. Next question that he asks is, would you ever attempt speedrunning The Simpsons in a run? Now, yes and no. Yes, because I do feel like I know the game pretty well, but it also is going to be a lot of work to have to figure out exactly what the best methods will be. So maybe in the future, but as of right now, I don't think that I'm going to attempt any speedruns anytime soon. So I have seen a couple speedrunners who've done it. It is pretty crazy what they do. So yeah, man, I'll think about it, but as of right now, that's a little too scary for me. So we'll definitely keep that in mind for the future. Any history on your gaming experience you'd like to share? Gaming experience that I like to share. When I was little, I didn't really grow up with video games a lot, because it is a little bit on a more personal note, but we were a bit of a more low income family, so we didn't always have the money to go out and buy all the luxurious things that other people had. So I didn't really have all like the expensive toys. I didn't have as many video games. I had some plug and play video games, the things where you just plug in into the TV and then it comes with like these preloaded games. I used to play those a lot, and a lot of those had like the Nintendo games. They had games like Super Mario, they had Contra, Ice Climbers, Bomberman, Elevator Action, one of my favorite games, and of course just some other notable games as well. So yeah, that's kind of my gaming history. And as far as my first console ever, it was actually the PlayStation 2 that I didn't receive until the mid 2000s. So that's like 2007, 2008. So yeah, it took a while for me to get the PlayStation. When it came out, it was obviously the hottest thing ever, and it was just kind of out of our range. So I didn't really have a lot in terms of like gaming. So that's probably why I'm so into it now. Like, just the fact that I didn't have a lot growing up, I kind of like to spoil myself in terms of because now I have a Nintendo Switch, I have a PS4. I want to get the PS5, and of course I have the PC. So I have basically three systems where I can play video games. So yeah, I kind of spoiled myself. Any additional plans with the Discord? Discord, I'm still trying to get very comfortable with it. It has not been the easiest transition for me to get into that, but I am doing my best to learn more about it and to just to get into it a bit more. So yeah, that's kind of where that is right now. So yeah, thank you, Phobia, for all those questions. Those were all actually really good questions. I enjoyed answering them because I do like to talk about myself a lot. So of course, there are some very good questions. Next question comes from Squidgy Silver, and they ask, "How do you record your Simpsons in a run episodes?" OBS, simple. OBS. OBS has been very effective for me. I know there are some people that say that they couldn't use OBS because I don't know what. I don't know if it's their computer specs or maybe they just haven't got the settings correctly. You know, you do have to fix your settings before you actually do record. If you're going to record your microphone, you got to make sure you got those set correctly. And it is a little bit of work to get set up, but once you have everything kind of like set up, then it becomes a lot easier and you're able to just open it, get everything ready, hit record, and now you're getting what I'm getting right now. So yeah, I'm using OBS to actually do this episode right now, to do this little Q&A. So yeah, next question comes from Green Bulmers. They say, "What are your thoughts on the Simpsons Hit and Run speedrun community?" Yeah, I've talked a little bit about that already. It's pretty incredible what these guys do. Due to like seeing how complicated it looks, I don't think it's something that I could attempt right now, but I definitely can in the near future. So thank you, Green Bulmers, for that question. Hunter Gaming says, "What was your other favorite PS2 game?" Definitely Destroy Humans. Another one that I love playing a lot was SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. That was definitely one of my favorite ones of all time. But of course, there were other ones that came along that I thought were great as well. But that I'm basically going to go with SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 because that's basically my childhood game. That's the one I could run to the most. It had a really awesome soundtrack and, of course, some really good gameplay. And I just really enjoyed it a lot. So that's definitely going to be one of my other favorite PS2 games. Do you think there'll ever be another Simpsons game in the future, or will it never happen? There has to be another one. I don't see why they will not capitalize on making another Simpsons game. Whether it's hit and run, remaster, remake, sequel, or any other game that they could think of, I honestly don't see why they wouldn't do another one. I want to say yes, there will be another one, but mainly because I don't see why they wouldn't. But you never know what could happen. So that is a little bit up in the air right now, but that's what I think. So thank you, Hunter Gaming, for that question. Haydar Mushtak says, "Do you think there will ever be another..." Oh, wait. I completely misread that. So Hunter Gaming was the one who asked about the PS2 game. Haydar Mushtak asked about the Simpsons game. Sorry about that. Okay, next question. Crazy Adam 2000. I'm an idiot. I have a question, but it's not about Simpsons. Have you ever played Metal Gear Solid? If so, what ones have you played? I've actually never played Metal Gear Solid. That's all I could say. I've actually never played Metal Gear Solid. So yeah, maybe I'm lame for that, but I just never played it yet. Yeah. CJSM935 says, "Here's my one." Okay. Could you do a best Simpsons Hit and Run character ranking? Best character ranking? I would have to think about it. What would I base that off of? If I did a based on characters, what would I have to base it off? Would I have to base it off their quotes? The cars that they have? That's mainly the only things I could think of. I don't know. If there's any other ones that you could think of, definitely let me know. Next question comes from Angel Dave Ramirez, who says, "Johnny, sup? Have you ever thought about expanding your choices of games to play and record? Also, I love the throwback sports games from GameCube, PlayStation 1, 2, and Xbox. Are sports video games your thing?" Okay, nice. This is a good question. I like this one. So sports video games, I guess if you consider WWE an actual sport game, then that's one. The other one that I play sometimes is FIFA. I play that a lot off of YouTube. So I've only uploaded like maybe 2 videos related to that. But FIFA is something that I play casually. I don't really play like Ultimate Team. I don't play like all the online stuff, career mode. I usually just play to have like an exhibition match. I don't really do like all that crazy stuff. Sometimes I play tournaments on my own just to see how good I can get, because I'm not the best player. Like I said, I play casually. Sometimes I get wrecked by the CPUs. So that just kind of tells you where I am. If you play FIFA, that will kind of tell you a little bit about that. I have also played FIFA 98. I believe it was FIFA 98. It was like the World Cup game. It was like the sprites were so different. It was obviously 3D, but it was just very different from what we see now. So that's another thing that I like to talk about. Chris P. Bacon says, "Will you ever do videos on Spongebob Battle for Bikini Bottom?" The answer is yes. Yes, I will. I already did a 5-hour live stream based on that game. And yes, it is a little slow paced because I wasn't really familiar with the game. I didn't know much about it. But I did do a 5-hour live stream. The first 4 hours was me playing that game. And of course, I did also talk about how I'm going to get the collector's edition for the remastered game. So yeah, Definitely gonna cover this game. It's Adam says, I have 2 questions. Have you ever gotten bored of The Simpsons hit and run? Oh, that's an interesting one. I actually did. So when I first completed the game, I had to complete the entire thing. So the entire thing, as in I completed the whole game 100%, all the gags, wasp cameras, cars, costumes, missions, all that stuff, all the races. And I have to admit, I did kind of get bored of the game after that. And that was the first time that I completed it. That was back in the late 2000s, maybe like 2009, 2010. I don't know. But I did kind of lose interest in the game, and I kind of did just get over it. But eventually, I did find my way into liking the game again, especially with mods now. It's a lot more exciting to play. It's also really good to see how much more you can learn about the game just by looking at YouTube videos, looking at what developers have said about it. So yes, I have gotten bored of The Simpsons in a run at some point, but to this day, I can't really say I feel the same about it. I still enjoy it no matter what. And the second question that It's Adam asks is, if you could pay for Simpsons in a run to be remastered, how much would you pay? Oh my god, you're asking the wrong guy. You're asking a dude who's freaking broke. But if I could, I would pay a solid $5 because we freaking deserve it. Peter Mclaughlin, shout out to Peter Mclaughlin, another longtime viewer who's actually taken some time to actually message me a couple times. Says, hi there, Average Johnny. I have a question. What is your favorite Simpsons character? If you're talking about the game, or just I'm gonna just talk about the show in general. I like Bart the most. I think Bart's the most interesting. Obviously, one of the more funnier characters. So yeah, I do enjoy Bart as a character. Thomas Sparrow, one of the people that has pressed me about this. Thanks for that. I really do need to stay consistent on this. If you've played any, what are your favorite remastered games, and what do you think should be remastered? And do you have any childhood games? So my favorite remastered games. I don't even know if I've played any. I honestly can't think if I've played any. I feel like I have, but I just can't think of one at the top of my head. It's very interesting. Usually I'm a big chatterbox and I just come up with all this random crap. But this is one of those days where I just can't think of anything. But I'm actually not sure right now. But what games do I think should be remastered? That's an obvious answer. Simpsons Hit and Run is another one. Is an obvious answer. What we need to remaster. And if I had to pick another one, I don't know if this is really going to be a popular answer, but one of the older Call of Duty games, whether it be Black Ops 1 or 2, would definitely be great games to remaster, because I thought they were freaking awesome, freaking stellar to me, to be honest. So yeah, those are games that I would definitely like to have remastered. Do I have any favorite childhood games? I have already talked about this one. SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 is a big one. Straw Humans is a big one. Conker's Bad Fur Day. And just a number of other ones that I really liked. Sharina says, what is your favorite mission in The Simpsons Hit and Run? Who is your favorite all-time WWE wrestler? Mine is Edge. Have you ever watched The Simpsons? You should play Road to WrestleMania on SVR 2010 or 11. Okay, favorite mission in The Simpsons Hit and Run, basically anything from level 6. I enjoy all those, so that's definitely some of them. Obviously not Set to Kill, but yeah, that's that. Who's your favorite all-time WWE wrestler? This one, easy one. As a Latino person myself, my favorite wrestler was Eddie Guerrero. Sadly, he passed away 15 years ago. So yeah, that was a very sad time for me. I was just getting to know the guy. I was basically he was the one who got me into WWE. So that was definitely a tragic time for me. I was pretty sad as a kid. But yeah, his legacy lived on. People still remember him. That's pretty awesome. And have I ever watched The Simpsons? I used to faintly watch it over a decade ago. I know they're still running now, but I've never really bothered to watch the new episodes. A lot of people talk about how shows that have been running too long, eventually, they kind of lose that magic. I guess a lot of people say Simpsons is in that stage. So yeah, I haven't really watched any new episodes. And yeah, I watched it a couple times. I watched it quite frequently. I remember I used to watch it before. So this is what would happen. Simpsons would come on at 7:30 on Fox, and Friday Night SmackDown would come at 8 o'clock. So I would always watch The Simpsons right before watching Friday Night SmackDown. So that was pretty cool. That's how I remember that I watched The Simpsons a lot. So Danny, next question. Thank you, Sharina, for that question. Danny Dark says, do you have any future plans for Destroy Humans videos? Would love to see you rank the games and maps. Probably we'll do the remastered version. I'll probably play through all that and maybe rank them based off of that, just because we get to see all these new weapons and stuff like that. We get to have all the abilities that we kind of wanted. But at the same time, it would be kind of interesting for me to just do the original game. So that's something I can definitely take into consideration. So yeah, thank you guys for those questions. Now, the second set of questions. Yeah, man, it's quite a lot. So you got to keep going. Thomas Sparrow, another question. He asked, have you played any other Simpsons games apart from Hit and Run? I've got the Simpsons game for the DS and Hit and Run for PS2. So this is actually... I originally thought my answer was no, but then I remembered when I was a kid, I took a trip to Mexico. And my uncle, he actually owns like a video store. And in that video store, he had an arcade. And we got to play for free because, you know, it was his store. And he had the Simpsons arcade game on there. And that was my first Simpsons game ever. I thought it was freaking awesome. It got pretty tough at some points. I don't know how it would be if I played it now, but at the time I was tough. I was 6, but I remember playing it, and I remember we had to keep, you know, rerunning the quarters because it was pretty difficult. So that was the first Simpsons game I ever played. What made you fall in love with the Simpsons Hit and Run? And do you think a remake, if EA would confirm it, would it be better? What made me fall in love with it? Basically, just the simplicity of what it is and the fact that basically, why do people love GTA? It's free world. You get to do all this crazy stuff. You get to drive cars, hit people, do missions. It's obviously very exciting. But the fact is, I didn't really know too much about GTA at the time. I was still pretty small. So, Simpsons Hit and Run was kind of that little substitute before I found out about GTA. So, there was just a lot to do in it. And I just instantly fell in love. I guess it was just a whole like 3D cartoony stuff. I thought the graphics were fantastic for the time. It still kind of holds up today if you think about it. But that's mainly what it was. The gameplay, the appearance, and just the whole just the whole formula of it. I just thought it was great. Do I think a remake, if EA would confirm it, would be better? I would just hope that EA doesn't try to add anything to it. That's the only thing I would hope for. I don't know. Like, what I mean by add is the M word that a lot of people think of when it comes to EA. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know. Thrasher Duck. Thank you, Miguel A. Cruz, for that question, by the way. Thrasher Duck says, what is the funniest thing you've ever witnessed in The Simpsons Hit and Run? People getting run over. Freaking hilarious. Just fly up in the sky. They look like ragdolls. It's hilarious. Shadowfiend 180X says, what early mission on Simpsons Hit and Run poses an actual challenge? Levels 1 to 3, not including fishy deals. Definitely the mission where... Was it Bonfire of the Manatees? Is that the one where Lisa has to drive without poo and has to take out Cletus's car and get all those items back? When I first played it, I had so much freaking trouble, and it was pretty enraging to me. So yeah, that's definitely one of them. Monkey See, Monkey Do was another one that I struggled with when I first played it from level 2. A lot of people know about that. Sellouts was another one that I've talked about. And level 1, I don't think there ever was a mission that I struggled with. I think the only mission that I ever failed was... Flowers by Irene? Was that Flowers by Irene? No, Big Blind Brother. Sorry, Big Blind Brother. The one where you had to destroy the devices. Because I didn't really know my way around the power plant, so I struggled a couple times on that one. So, and those are the only ones. Sharina, once again, back to ask another question. You should play Road to WrestleMania on SBR 2010 or 11. Okay, I didn't address that. I'm sorry. That's probably why she wrote it twice. He or she wrote it twice. I would definitely love to play the Road to WrestleMania. I thought they were fantastic. They were a lot of fun. I love the whole created storyline aspect that they did. So I could definitely look into that. I do have access to the games, so I could probably do something like that. Which missions from Simpsons Hit and Run is your favorite from each level? Wow, that's a quite lengthy answer I'm gonna have to give. Level 1, I would have to say the final mission where you raise Smithers. Level 2 would have to be Sellouts. I like destroying the cars despite the fact that I thought it was kind of challenging. Level 3 would have to be probably the one with the bus where you have to destroy the limousines. I probably like that one the most. Level 4 would have to be Wolf Stole My Pills. That's definitely one. Level 5 would have to be Curious Curator. I don't know why I like that mission so much. Either that one or... the one with the armored truck. Either one. I like both. Level 6 would have to be... Level 6. Which one do I like the most, at least? Honestly, level 6, I'm kind of lost on that one. I liked a lot of the missions, but I don't know which one I would pick the most. Definitely not Set to Kill. Maybe the last one, King and Kodo Strike Back. That's probably the one I'd pick. Or the one with the bus. I actually like both for some reason. Level 7, I was kind of flat with level 7. I don't know which one I would like. I'm just going to go out and say the final mission. Yeah, everyone considers it to be one of the toughest missions, but it is the most exciting mission there is just due to the fact that it was so difficult. So, yeah. Who is your favorite all-time wrestler? I actually answered this one, but they did mention that there's this Edge or Triple H. What is your earliest memory of watching The Simpsons? Yeah, I talked about this when I was little. I used to watch Friday Night SmackDown, and before that, 7:30, I would watch Simpsons. So yeah, thank you again for asking those questions. Plasma Squid says, what's your favorite mission? Don't make me do this. I really cannot think of my favorite mission. I would probably say one of the bonus missions, which was the one where you had to destroy Professor Frank's hover car. I don't know. I really like that one a lot. I guess because it was just so damn reckless. Sometimes you would get cops on you. And it was just really chaotic to the point I actually liked it a lot. So that's another one. Mega Flare 329. This person is actually taking time to message me. So thank you for that. Do you have a favorite car in The Simpsons Hit and Run? In The Simpsons Hit and Run car. Okay. Do you have a favorite car? Okay. Favorite car, it would have to be, I've talked about this one. The hearse. The hearse is my favorite car in the game. But I also do like the Farini in a good second place. Farini was I definitely love Farini. I would drive that one even after level 6. So, yeah, it was a pretty awesome car. Have you got a conceptual upgrade to one or various missions? I'm not exactly sure what you're asking about. If you're asking about the concept that I did, to the remaster that I did, the remastered concept that I did a couple months back, that was just a bunch of photoshopped images. I hope that's what you were asking about. But they were just a bunch of photoshopped images. I wasn't actually trying to make a mod. So, yeah. And a pretty cheap attempt, too. I just, added some textures, added some shininess to some of the objects. And, of course, I did try to, replace some of the images just to make them look a little more cleaner. So, yeah, that's all I really did there. Can you tell the story of when you first played Hit and Run? I was at one of my older cousin's house. He was, he was a lot older. He was probably, 17, 18, I don't know. But he allowed me to play his PlayStation, and he showed me The Simpsons, and I actually started playing it. Instantly fell in love with it, man. I don't know what it was. It just really caught me, and I just really liked the concept. And after that, here I am now. I ended up borrowing it from my cousin from another cousin a couple months later, a couple years later actually, and when I played it on the PS2, and that's when I started playing it even more. And yeah, that's where that pretty much went. Now I'm here doing a whole channel based on it. Can you believe it? Thank you, the editor. Thank you for that question. CJSM935 asked another question. Favorite Simpsons Hit and Run character? Bart. I've answered that kind of already. Peter Mclaughlin asked another question. He says, hi there, Average Johnny. Will you be playing Simpsons Road to Rage on your channel? If I can get access to it, I definitely will. I will try my best. Have you played Virtual Springfield? Did you like it? I've heard of it. Never played it. I don't know anything about. I never even looked up videos, honestly. So I cannot tell you any experiences that I have with it. Not even a first impression. Sorry about that. But thank you, Champy, for asking that question. I will take a look at it, though, just to see what it's like or what it was. I do hear a number of people talking about it, so we'll see where that goes. Next question comes from Joey Bellamy. He says, will you be playing Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated when it comes out? Another PS2 classic? Yes, definitely. I've already talked about this, so I'm very excited. What is your other childhood PS2 games? I've talked about it. Destroying Humans. Another one that I definitely liked. My first first-person shooter was a game called Medal of Honor, Vanguard, and also Call of Duty 2, Big Red One. Those are the two shooter games that really got me into Call of Duty today. And of course, I've talked about SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. That's another one. Hunter Gaming. Yeah, that was your question. Yeah, played it off good, didn't I? Which set of collector cards did you find the hardest to find? Level 6 had a couple tough ones to find. Simple as that. Thank you, Lenny Holden, for that question. And for the final question, Toady Peanut says, why Hit and Run? Because it's just a game that I really fell in love with. And I've talked about this a number of times where I talk about how as I got older, I just remembered The Simpsons Hit and Run. And in my head, I just couldn't help but think, why is no one talking about this game? Why? And I even went on the YouTube search bar and I even typed in Simpsons Hit and Run top 10 just to see if anything came up. Nothing. So one day when I actually started getting equipment, I'm about 20 years old. I finally got my first equipment, my first set of equipment. I was really excited. And I thought about this subject again. I'm like, wait, no one's ever talked about this game. And then I said, you know what? Let's give it a shot. So I went ahead. I recorded the first poorly narrated Simpsons in a Run top 10, and it is where it is now. And it's pretty incredible. It's pretty awesome, dude. It's just, I honestly can't believe how far it's gotten from here. So yeah, man, that was pretty awesome. I honestly never expected it to go where it is now. And a lot of it is thanks to you guys. So I definitely appreciate that. And if I'm correct, there was another question that someone asked a while ago. But, Okay, so here's the weird thing. What I do remember is there was somebody who asked me, and I really like this question a lot, because it has to do not just with me, but for people in general. And even if I don't see it, I'm just going to address it anyways. Something that somebody asked a while ago is they said, do you have any advice for YouTubers? Do you believe that they actually need expensive equipment to start a channel? And I thought that was a very important question because that was my original thought. You know, is it important? Is it something that I need? And, you know, will it kill me if I don't have the equipment? The answer is no. You don't need the equipment. I didn't have any of this. Not this microphone, not this pop filter, not this PC that I'm using to record right now, not this webcam. I didn't have any of this. So everything that I'm using right now to record, I didn't have when I started the channel. Keep that in mind. What I used to record my narrations was a Galaxy S6. I literally spoke into it. I used a recorder app, and I did a tiny bit of fidgeting on the computer on my laptop that I had at the time. I will tell you this much. You will need a laptop for editing videos. You don't need an extremely powerful one. If you want to do basic videos, you don't need an extremely powerful video editor. So I use this to record my narrations. I used a built-in Windows 10 recorder to record the gameplay, and I just put it all together from there. And of course, finding music is the easiest thing to do. So no, I did not need expensive equipment. The only thing you do need, something to record with, doesn't matter what it is. If you can somewhat make it work, then it works. And of course, you do need a computer of some kind. I didn't have this computer that I'm using right now to record this. So no, I don't believe you need expensive equipment. What you do need is a creative mind, a resourceful mind, and just some dedication. And you can honestly pull off anything. You can pull off some very miraculous stuff. So always keep that in mind. But those were the shoutouts. Thank you guys for all of that. That was pretty damn awesome. I'm glad that you guys asked all those questions. I thought they were really good questions. And like I said, keep it going, man. You guys can do it. If you guys want to start a channel, there should be nothing that should be stopping you. And of course, the facelift of the channel. That's the new logo. Yes. It's quite an upgrade for me, to be honest. I really like it a lot. But also, I did want to do this real quick. Shoutouts to the average Brandon, who actually named himself after my channel. I thought that was one of the awesomest things ever, man. It was really flattering. I honestly did not know what to say. Like, I was like, oh my God. But very flattering to see that someone actually liked my channel so much that they named themselves after it. I thought that was really cool. So thank you to the average Brandon. Shout out to him for that. Been awesome. Actually took time to contact me as well to talk to me. They actually come from Africa, which I thought was really awesome. So it's nice to know that I have a pretty expanded fan base. So I thank you guys every day for subscribing, for commenting, liking videos, anything, man. Anything is appreciated. And yeah, we can only keep going on from here. So, and we are almost to 5,000 subscribers. It took me 3 years. Let's keep going. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys like that, and hopefully you guys aren't too upset that that I took quite a while on these videos. But hopefully you guys will have a great day, and I will be seeing you guys in the very next one. Take care.